and white TV for another show. Apologies for it being later tonight. I had a few things to do after work, and by the time I got through traffic and everything, didn't get home until quite late, so I had to rearrange the show twice. But I'm here now, and we look ahead to the Chelsea game. It's a 5:30 kickoff tomorrow, which is live on Sky Sports. So a lot's been happening today in Newcastle, and also this has happened. So Eddie Howe was announced as Manager of the Month for that brilliant month we've had with, some fantastic wins in that month. Fully deserved in my eyes, and so glad Eddie Howe has got Manager of the Month. It's a nice change. And also Almiron, not only Player of the Month, Goal of the Month for that goal against Fulham. Tremendous goal that was, that pass from Bruno over the top of the defence into Almiron and Van Basten into the back of the net. Absolute fantastic goal. Deserved Goal of the Month all day. I know Tielemans had a good strike, but I'm sorry, it was nowhere near as good as what Almiron's was. So well done, Miggy Almiron. Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Eddie takes Manager of the Month. So absolutely fantastic there. And also, there's been some activity spotted in Newcastle as well today. There's been people from Saudi Airlines, pilots and cabin crew, and there's also been videos out there where the Saudi Air is going around the advertising hoardings, but no official announcement from the club as yet. So that'll be an interesting one. We wait to see what that's all about. People are saying there's a shirt sponsorship. I mean, the shirts don't, the sponsor doesn't change till next summer anyway. So would we really bring them in this early and do all this? I'm not so sure. To me, I think it's more about the stadium. So I wonder if it's the stadium naming, or maybe it could be just a ground sponsor in total. So, I mean, we don't know what it's for, but I'm sure we will find out in time. And hopefully the club will make some sort of announcement on this, because, this is happy days. This is what we need. And a sponsor like that coming into the club, this will help us, because come January, that sponsorship could help us pay for Maddison. So, the sky's the limit. Pardon the pun, I know the Saudi Airlines, but is there an announcement going to be made tomorrow? Is it going to be made at the Chelsea game? Who knows? I mean, we just don't know. So we got to wait and see on this one. I mean, but exciting times ahead. I expect the club to get quite a few sponsors through the door, and the shirt sponsor will be the one that everybody wants to look at next year and see who the sponsor's going to be. I mean, it could be anybody on the shirt, but at the end of the day, we just have to wait and see. But at least we know the shirt sponsor is going to be a lot better than what we previously had under the previous owner, because anybody sponsoring the front of the shirt now have to pay £22 million to sponsor the shirt, and it's £7.5 million for the sleeve, which is already done by noon. So, because in the past, I think for the shirt sponsor, it's been about £6 million a season, which, to be honest with you, is not a lot of money. But we know who's to blame for that. And thankfully, we can get out of the Fun 88 and see if we can move on from Castor maybe next season as well. So let's see what happens on that. I'll just jump into a few comments here. Wayne says, hello, Tony. Hello to you, Wayne. Hope you're well, mate. Niall says, big ups, mate. Great show as ever. I love your channel. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you for your support. And Gary says, good evening, Tony. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I mean, so if you like what you see, then please hit those like buttons. It really does help the channel go up the search settings, and it does really let people find the channel a bit more easily as well. And also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. And also hit the bell notification. That'll tell you whenever I put a video on pre-recorded or I come on live as well. So thank you very much for everybody who has subscribed so far. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting times ahead, isn't it? I mean, We've got Eddie, Manager of the Month, Mickey Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and a new sponsorship on the horizon by the looks of things as well. So it's just all coming together now. And the thing is, this Toon roller coaster is getting faster and faster. Plus, it's going to get bigger. And the big six are frightened. Well, they're already frightened because we've seen that with Liverpool this week. They've put themselves up for sale because they're frightened of us. So we're showing them that we are in there for them. So so they really are frightened, Liverpool, and it's great when we can frighten our rivals like that, because it's like to say there's a new kid on the block. Yes, that new club on the block is Newcastle United. It's just the sleeping giant is now eventually being woken up, and it's what we've needed. Wayne says, if it is Saudi Airlines multi-billion-pound contract, I mean, I don't know the full ins and outs of the deals. I've not heard what the full in and out of them is, but what I will say is, whatever it is, it's going to bring money into the club, and this is what you need. You need sponsorships like this to bring the money into the club, because the club's got to generate its own money, and by generating its own money, it then helps us with FFP as well. So, lots to get around there. So, and the more money we get in the club, the more we can get better players in, bigger players, and then eventually we can get rid of the players that are here that we don't want no longer. The likes of Jamal Lascelles and your Ryan Frasers, move them on and replace them with not just a little bit better, but massively better in quality than what they are. And that's no disrespect to them. They've done their job here, but it's their time now to move on, you see. So Mighty Mag says, Tony, we probably get Europe next season. Our team doesn't have the depth, especially if we hit Champions League. Need a few players in. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Champions League would be nice, but does it come a little bit too early this season if we do it? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure yet. The jury's still out on that one. But I think if we finish in the top four, I think we've definitely overachieved, because we didn't achieve to go into the top four this season. We probably thought maybe top 10. I said at the start of the season, I'd be happy if we finished 7th, because that still guarantees you European football. So, I mean, but then again, if we get Champions League and we've got this sponsorship coming in, then who knows? Who knows? I mean, we just got to wait and see. But at the end of the day, the players want to go out there and win games. That's the thing. That's what they're paid for, to win games. And unfortunately, as much as some people might say, yes, we're going to be too early going to the Champions League this season, but if we end up in the Champions League place, we've got to be ready for it. And so let's enjoy it while we've got it, and let's hope at the end of tomorrow we are sitting on 30 points. Because if somebody told me at the start of the season, before the season started, that we would be on 30 points, sitting in 3rd place at the World Cup break, I wouldn't have believed them. I would have said, I don't think so. But to be sitting on 30 points, it's just absolutely fantastic. And Mighty Mag also says, evening, Tony, great show. Thanks for your time. Yeah, no problem. And thank you for your time coming on here as well, and watching the shows as well. I mean, without you guys, it wouldn't be a channel. So, it's a massive thanks to all yous out there as well. But, so I mean... so there's lots going on at the club, and, but it's nice to see that it's stuff that's positive for the club. Too many times in the future, we've always been the circus in the Premier League, everybody's laughed at us, everybody, we've always been the laughing club. Well, we're not anymore, because the club's positive and the club is moving on up, and that's the most important thing about it, moving on up as well. Wayne says, it's freaking great how fast we're moving. And then 3 awards won purely belter. Never done that for a long time. No, we haven't. I mean, and it must have, I mean, to be fair, I bet the Premier League and I bet the Big Six, I bet they're all thinking, gosh, Newcastle winning awards like this. The only thing I hope now, and I don't want to sound, I'm not going to sound as a downer here, but I'm just hoping Eddie Howe getting manager of the month today. I hope the curse doesn't strike tomorrow, because normally when you get manager of the month, you don't win your next game. So I think we'll break that mold. I think we'll be fine tomorrow. Absolutely. Gary says another home draw in the cup, Tony, mate. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. I mean, Bournemouth at home, I'll take that. Yeah, okay, in the Premier League we drew 1-1, but I don't think Bournemouth will come to us with a full strength squad. They can't play a full strength squad because they know they need their better players for the Premier League. And if they played their best players against us in that cup tie and any of them got injured, then they're going to lose their key players for the more important games of staying in the Premier League. So they're probably going to play weekend side. So I think we can go out there and beat them. I think we'll play a stronger team this time, but now I'm confident. And the other good thing about it, as well as cup draw, another one of the Big Six will go out in the next round. So it'll be either Man City or Liverpool. So that was a great draw yesterday. So we'll get one of them rid of as well. And, see how far we get in this competition. There's a belief in this competition. I think we can go all the way and win this thing. Why not? I see some fans saying, oh, is it really worth winning the League Cup? Well, yeah, of course it is, because at the end of the day, it's a trophy, isn't it? And if that was to be our first trophy this season, that ends at Hoodoo since 1969 that we haven't won a trophy. And we've never ever won the League Cup. So it would be the first time we've ever won the League Cup in our history as well. So absolutely much better as well. So yeah, I'm happy with the draw. Any draw, as long as it's at home, that's the main thing. There is nothing to fear in them clubs whatsoever, and I think we'll be absolutely fine. Mighty Mag says, also, when was the last time we'd be sending players off the World Cup? What a week. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Well done to Nick Pope. I mean, getting in the England squad as well. I mean, fully deserved. Kieran Trippier as well. I mean, he's in the England team as well. Absolutely fantastic, And also Callum Wilson, after 3 years missing the England side, he's finally back in. Now, I just hope Gareth Southgate, when he brings him on as a sub, use him to his full potential, because if he doesn't, then Callum Wilson's not going to hit the back of the net. So let's hope he plays attacking football and plays the sort of football that Callum Wilson absolutely thrives on. And then obviously opposition, at the World Cup, we got Bruno, who's going to play for Brazil. And also Fabian Schär will be playing for Switzerland as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these players do in their respective countries. I expect Schär will be absolutely fine as usual. And it's going to be a different World Cup, that's for sure. But let's see what happens. Mighty Mag says, I think we'll play a first team lineup. We'll probably play a very strong team, I would imagine. And he says, I hope we are televised. Yeah, whether it'll be picked for Sky, I don't know. I think you look at the Man City Liverpool, that's going to be definitely a Sky game, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just hoping we are televised. But if not, hopefully we're televised somewhere in the world. Wayne says, and I think Burnley will beat Man U as well, as I hope so. Yeah, could well do. Vincent Kompany as well. Don't forget, ex-Man City player. And that's his bitter rivals, Man United. And he might want to get one over them as a manager. So who knows? That'll be an interesting game. So I think that one could be televised as well. But I think we have to wait till Sky come out with the scheduling for that, and we'll see if anything comes of that. But no, it's going to be certainly interesting because that's after the World Cup finishes. Then you've got the Carabao Cup straight away. So yeah, let's hope anyway, and let's see what happens anyway. But so tomorrow we play Chelsea at St James's Park. It's like I say, it's a 5:30 kickoff on Sky Sports. I mean, who's gonna come in tomorrow? I mean, last week we played Jacob Murphy. He started against Southampton. Done okayish, not brilliant, but okayish. Done what he had to. Now, do we bring back this guy to replace him, Joe Linton? Does he come back in and replace him at, on the left wing? We just wait and see if he comes in or not. Or, as it was suggested last night on the fan zone, when Darren said, do we give Longstaff a rest? And then obviously put Joe Linton in the midfield there. And do we keep faith with Murphy on the left? So that's possibilities there. So yeah, it's all looking interesting. So it'll be an interesting lineup if what changes will be made tomorrow. I don't know who he's going to bring in, or but I mean, we know the mainstay of the sides, but other than that, it's just who's going to come in on that left wing, and yeah, we shall see. And I'll just dive into some more comments. So, Mighty Max is going off rumours. What will happen to this new sponsor, new player fund? Yeah, I would imagine the money coming in from the sponsorship will help fund new players and bring them into the club. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, we'll just see how much comes into the club, and obviously that'll go towards new players as well. One thing you got to realise with this ownership is not like the ownership of old, who used to wait for players to be sold and then see the money's there for new players, when it never was. So this ownership is totally different. These will spend, and these will back Eddie Howe as much as he needs backing. And he says, go back to winning ways lineup. Yeah, well, it'll go back to a full strength team anyway, because it won't be the same players on Wednesday. Gary says Sunderland are one up, are they already? Gosh. Come on, Birmingham. You can pull that out. Let's pull that one out of the hat, and let's see. Let's hope Birmingham turn this around and win it tonight. Yeah, so let's hope. I mean, like I say, tomorrow's game, also team news. This guy there's still a bit of a doubt over Callum Wilson, whether he's going to make it or not. I mean, hopefully he pulls through. It's just this illness he's got. We don't know what the illness is. It's not COVID related, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what's happening with Callum Wilson, because a fit and firing Callum Wilson is exactly what we need, and yeah, he would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow anyway, and then we can sort of take it from there. So just going to go into but yeah, like I say, we'll just see what happens tomorrow. And hopefully he's back in the team, Wilson, because we miss him. I mean, we're missing for his goals. I mean, Chris Wood came on and scored last week, and he scored a lovely goal, Chris Wood. You know, don't get me wrong, but really, when we've got a fit firing Callum Wilson, he's it's a major difference. I mean, Eddie did say, he says, look, we'll wait and see on Callum Wilson. He's been training separately from the group. He's had this illness and been kept away from the group, but he's trained well, and we'll make a decision ahead of tomorrow. So it's not exactly being ruled out yet. So Callum Wilson could return tomorrow. Maybe he's just keeping Chelsea guessing as well. Bit of gamesmanship from Eddie Howe. And also he reacted to the news that Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier and Callum Wilson were picked for the Southgate's World Cup squad. And he says, I think it's great for us as a club at Newcastle. We are proud of our international players. We try to provide a place where players can excel. We do well, hopefully get called up by their international teams. It's an amazing thing for Callum individually, and I'm sure for his family. Callum's had a difficult career and not always been about successes. He has risen from the lower leagues and is now going to the World Cup. I think it has been brilliant and to witness it firsthand. When you see how achieved via consistency, hard work and a really positive attitude, even when he was injured, his instinct was to come back better. He has got away scoring goals and a uniqueness about him as well. So that was Eddie Howe on Callum Wilson. I mean, we've all had it. We've had colds, flus, things like that. And they knock you for six. And you can't be bothered to do anything. And maybe Callum Wilson just on Sunday said, you know what? I can't do anymore. I'm going to have to come off. So Wayne says, if we get that, Ramco, I just hope decent stir things up with the media. Well, Aramco is everywhere at the moment. I mean, you see it in the Formula One. If you've been watching the T20 World Cup in Australia, where England play Pakistan on Sunday in the final, that's got Aramco on all the boundaries and everything like that. So Aramco are a name global around the world, doing a lot of sponsors. I don't think it'll stir things up with the media because we're not responding to what the media say to us now. Can you see these people were in the pick will be at the match tomorrow? Or do you mean the Saudi Airlines people? Quite possibly they'll be there tomorrow. I mean, we don't know. I mean, I just wonder if this sponsorship's going to be announced tomorrow, maybe just before the match or whatever. Or, or will it be announced sometime during tomorrow? And because when you see they've got the boards are all done and they had the Saudi airline going on the boards and that, I just wonder, because they've got to be programmed in. So I'm wondering if that's going to start up tomorrow, and maybe they're going to announce it tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm only guessing. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm only just guessing anyway. Wayne says, it's a bug and I'm still getting over it. Drain me, like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, bugs do drain you. They're absolutely awful. And I totally get where Callum Wilson's coming from. I think we all felt for him on Sunday, to be fair. Off topic, says Mighty Mag. Hope you don't mind. Breaking news, Klopp's been given a 1-match ban and banned for Saturday's game against Southampton, plus a £30,000 fine. Well, so for all his antics, he gets a 1-game ban. Typical Premier League. Typical FA. Let's get him in front of the FA. Let's give him a dressing down. Let's make him not do this again. Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll just give him a 1-game ban. Absolutely clueless, ridiculous. The guy should have been given a 3 or 4 game ban, because this guy thinks he can just do what he wants. This guy thinks he can always go on at the fourth official. He can have a go at the referee, he can go at the linesman all game. But now he gets a 1 game ban and a £30,000 fine. £30,000 fine's probably already been paid. It's probably nothing to him. Tap on his credit card, paid, done. Obviously not contactless, but he would have had to put his PIN number in. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me, if I'm honest. Now, if that was Eddie Howe doing something like that, you'd guaranteed get about a 3 game ban. I just don't know what it is with Klopp, why he's protected so much, because referees need to be more bold now. If he keeps doing it, keep sending them off and keep getting them fined, because the more he does it, the more he gets fined and the more bans he gets, he's gonna have to stop eventually and think what he's actually doing. So but yeah, that doesn't surprise me, a 1 game ban for Klopp, does it? So yeah, but we shall see. So referee tomorrow is Robert Jones, and he's refereed 8 Premier League games this season, dished out 28 yellow cards. He's not dished out a second yellow that's led to red, and he hasn't dished out any red cards, and he has also gave 2 penalties as well. So that's his stats for the season. So he does like to pull out a yellow card or 2, but other than that, he's what can we say? I mean, we just have to hope he has a good game. I mean, I think it was against Arsenal against Southampton, sorry. I think Arsenal fans were a bit disgruntled with him. I don't think he had a great game then. I don't think he covered himself in glory. So we shall see what he does tomorrow for our game against Chelsea. And Andy Madley is the VAR referee as well tomorrow. So yeah, we should wait with bated breath for that one and see what happens there. But guys, if you like what you see, then please do hit those like buttons. It really does help the channel grow, and it does send the channel up the search settings as well. I've got 6 on at the moment, so I hope you're smashing those likes. Also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. That is free to do so. And also hit the bell notification. That also tells you when I have uploaded a pre-recorded video or I've become live. But hitting the subscribe really does help my channel grow. And I'm over 100 subscribers at the moment. And my next aim is to hopefully get to about 200 and see where I go from there. But eventually I want to get over 1,000, but that'll be a long while down the road. But at the moment, my next target is I'd like to see this hit at 200. And that would be absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far, and hope you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out there. Matey Mag expecting a few goals tomorrow. Not in one net. Yeah, I mean, we're down to beat Chelsea 2-0 tomorrow. So if we win 2-0 tomorrow, then I'll be happy with that. But I'll take more if we get more. I mean, who knows? We'll see. And I bet Botman will probably have a better game tomorrow. I think why we had such a poor, I'm not going to say we were really poor, but why we were off below par last week. I think a lot of it might have been to do with the conditions. I mean, it was absolutely throwing it down with rain. It was awful. I mean, even John Sinclair was down there and he said the rain was absolutely terrible. And I think the conditions didn't help because we weren't able to express ourselves and have that performance. But we still had 4 goal shots on target and scored 4 goals from them. And that must be frightening to the teams to think that we can actually not play well but still go out there and win 4-1. So these teams must be getting really worried now about that. So tomorrow, I think, because we're at home as well and under the lights, I think it's going to be a terrific atmosphere. War Flags is probably going to be absolutely fantastic again. I'd love to see what they've got up their sleeve for tomorrow. We're going to make it uncomfortable for Chelsea, and they're not going to like our pressing. That is the thing. the pressing and the intensity from our team, Chelsea, is how they handle that is going to be totally different. And I believe with Mendy in goal, we can get at him because he hasn't had a great season, has he? You know, he was great last season, but this season he's been a totally different goalkeeper. So, you know, let's hope we attack him more and see what we can get. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how Chelsea handle our game tomorrow, because I don't think they'll handle that very well. And you know, Miggy's on fire at the minute. Could he hit a goal? If he hit a double tomorrow, he hits double figures. So a double for Miggy gets him into double figures. Davy's in the house. Good evening, Tony. Good evening, Davy. Hope you're well, mate. Wayne says, and I'm sticking with 3-0, very confident. Absolutely. I mean, we're not frightened of Chelsea. We're not frightened of nobody. I mean, to be fair, can we beat Arsenal? Answer is, of course we can. Because although they're playing well in the top of the league, they're not there by default. They're there because they've played well. But if you watch them against Man United, they didn't have that great game, and they can be good at. So, you know, it'll be different once we play them, but we look forward to that game. Mighty Mag Dubravka let a couple of goals in. Yeah, he did last night for Man United, didn't he? He got his first start, so he got what he wanted. He got a start for Man United in the Cup, and obviously they went through 4-2, but yeah. That guy can stay there for the season, and then after that, he can be moved on, because he isn't the right character to have in the dressing room at this time. I mean, we saw what he done to summer. He spat his dummy out when Nick Pope came into the club, and as good as a goalkeeper Dubravka is, what he should have done was he should have said, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to fight for my place, and I'm going to make sure that if I get a chance in front of Nick Pope, I'm going to keep that. But instead, he said, no, I'm moving on because I want to move to a bigger club that's won a lot of trophies. Well, Man U have won a lot of trophies, but don't bet the fact that they're going to win anything this season. Maggie won't be back. No, absolutely not. So yeah, anybody who's just joined us, I mean, it's what a day for Newcastle it's been today. I mean, you know, Eddie Howe and Miguel Almiron, clean sweep of the Premier League awards. You know, Eddie Howe, Manager of the Month, Almiron Goal of the Month against Fulham, and Player of the Month as well. I mean, isn't it great? Isn't it great, guys, that we've actually took a clean sweep in the Premier League of a monthly awards? I mean, you know, this is fantastic, and this is what we want to see. And this is why the Big Six must be hating it now. You know, I mean, Liverpool, I mean, the Big Six fans must be absolutely hating this. But you know what? As Newcastle fans, we love it. And we want more. We want more awards. And that's what we want. You know, I would love Eddie Howe to go and win Manager of the Month for November. If we beat Chelsea tomorrow, and we beat them well, then Eddie Howe could be well in line for Manager of the Month again for November, because I know it's only a little bit into November, but because we're only into November, there'll still have to be a Manager of the Month for November. So on point, Eddie Howe could be Manager of the Month, and Goal of the Month for this month may go to Tielemans at the moment, because that was a cracking goal he scored last weekend, but against Everton. Unless Miggy comes up with a special tomorrow against Chelsea, and then that might just totally blow him out the water, and he might win his Goal of the Month again and his Player of the Month again. So we shall wait and see with that one. Wayne says, Tony, but at the minute we could beat anyone. Our confidence is to the moon. Yeah, absolutely. Winning breeds confidence, and how high our confidence is at the moment. Yeah, them players just walk into the stadium and think, yeah, we're gonna do this today, and it's just great to see. I know we brought the new players in, but we haven't brought I'm going to say we haven't brought a marquee signing as such. I mean, yes, we bought Bruno, and Bruno's a fantastic player, Botman, fantastic centre half. But when you talk about someone like a Marquise and you're looking at somebody like, say, a Victor Osimhen, you know, or you're looking at an Erling Haaland who's at Man City. But Bruno was sort of under the radar. I mean, Arsenal wanted him and a couple of others, but he chose to come to Newcastle, and that was the best thing he ever did, I think, because he knows how much he's loved here. And when you're a player and you go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, when you're playing for them teams, you're just another star in that team. And you don't have that connection with the fans like he does here at Newcastle. And that's the difference. It's a massive difference that you've got between Real Madrid and Barcelona and Newcastle. It's Newcastle, the fans will love you. If you're a hero, they worship the ground you walk on. In Barcelona and Real Madrid, you're just another player in the team. You're another star. As far as they're concerned, they don't look at it and think, and they don't embrace the players like we do. You know, so yeah, the confidence is absolutely sky high. Might you mark that picture's excellent. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Lovely picture of them too. And Gary says, I'll be on the moon if Man U never won anything ever again. Yeah, well, I mean, Jamie O'Hara's already said we'll win the Premier League before Man U do again. So, yeah, I would love Man U. I think Man U will go through the season without winning a trophy. They'll not. Well, in the Europa League, they've got to play Barcelona and lose that game. They're out. And I can't see them beating Barcelona by any chance. So I think they'll be gone. So that'll be another competition out. I mean, I can't remember who they got in the Carabao Cup now. Oh, they got Burnley out there. So if Burnley beat them in the Carabao Cup, that's 2 trophies are out. They ain't going to win the Premier League, so that's 3 trophies. So that leaves the FA Cup. And if they get knocked out of that early, that'll be no trophies for them this season. So yeah, that's what we want to see. Man U on a trophyless season. Matey Mag says, I'm still saying top 4 for us. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be nice to finish in this top 4, but I'm not so sure. But I'm one of these. I keep my feet on the ground. Try not to get myself too carried away with it. But let's see where we are in April. That's the big thing. Where we are in April, if we're still in and around that top 4 in April, then I think we make a push for it to stay there. If we're not, we'll probably make a push to stay in one of the European places, whether it's the Europa League or the Conference League, and then we'll build from there the following season. But so far, it's been a fantastic season, and it comes to the end tomorrow, but it's only half term, so it's a half term, and it'll break off for a month for the World Cup. Now, shows for the World Cup is going to be totally different because I've got to try and do stuff because there's going to be no Premier League football, so it's going to be totally different. But what I am going to do, and I'm going to put this out there now, so like on the 21st of November when England kick off against Iran in Qatar, it's a 1 p.m. kickoff. So I've took a day's holiday from work so I can be off for that game. So what I'll do is I will do a warm-up show. So I'll bring out the team lineups in that show and talk about the game ahead. And then half-time, I will do like a half-time report. So it's half-time analysis sort of thing. And then the second half, after the second half's finished, I'll then probably on the evening, probably have a match reaction sort of thing on the game. So, yeah, so there'll be lots there to come out. And, yeah, it's hard when the World Cup's on because it's going to it throws away the Premier League for a little bit. But I'm sure there's still plenty of things we can talk about as well, all things Newcastle still. Alan says, evening, Tony. Evening to you, Alan. Hope you're well, mate. 3 hits tomorrow will do just fine. Ending this half in style, 3-1. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ending on 30 points, third place tomorrow, absolutely fantastic. And telling you now, Chelsea will not enjoy coming to St James's Park. That is for sure tomorrow. Mighty Max says the media will be on meltdown if we got top 4. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, we've already threatened Liverpool, haven't we? So, yeah. He says I've took half day on the 21st as well. Well, I hope you can join me then and join me for that. And he says, oh yeah, I'll be there, Tony. Good idea. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, but that's a couple of weeks away. But the main focus is tomorrow's game, and we shall see. So I'm going to go through, but I think we'll play with the 4-3-3 tomorrow. That's never in doubt. That's Eddie's favoured formation, the 4-3-3, and it's working very well. And we play with that press and intensity, or as Eddie says, intensity is our identity. Brilliant. So this is going to be, I think, the team tomorrow, but I could be totally wrong. So please don't shoot me down if I'm wrong, but this is my thoughts on what the team will be tomorrow. So in goal, it will be Nick Pope. Then you'll have a back four of Trippier, Shaw, Botman, and Burn. So that'll be your back four. Midfield will be Bruno, Willock, and Longstaff. So I'm still keeping Longstaff in there as well. And your front three will be Miggy, Callum Wilson, and J7. So that's the lineup I'm going for tomorrow. Tell us what you think of that lineup in the comments. But that's the lineup I would go for tomorrow. So I'm going Pope, Trippier, Shea, Botman, Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miggy, Wilson, and Joe Wilson only if he's fit, though. That's the thing. If he's fine to play tomorrow, which we hope he is. So fingers crossed for that. If not, it'll be I would imagine Chris Wood. But let's hope Callum Wilson's absolutely fine tomorrow. And yeah. But I think that would be the team to go with. That would be my team. Like I say, whatever you think in the chat, do you think that's the right team to have tomorrow? Or do you think somebody different should be on the left other than Joe Linton? Let me know in the comments, please. Mikey Max says 100% there, Tony. Thank you. And he says ASM has to wait his turn. He will be on at some point tomorrow. Yeah, apparently ASM won great on Wednesday night. So yeah, I'm afraid he has to wait his turn. That's the thing now. You've got to wait your turn. And unfortunately, ESM is going to have to be a bench warmer for a bit until. But what he needs to do is once he does get in that side, he's got to nail it down and say, right, if you want the shirt off my back, you're going to have to wait till my levels drop, or I get an injury, or I get a sending off, or a suspension. That's the only way. Then that's what you say. That's what you do. You throw the gauntlet down and say, right, I'm not letting this shirt go. I'm staying that starting berth. But until he's got that, until he does that, then he's going to be on the bench. But I think, to be fair, it would be better leaving him on the bench tomorrow and give him some minutes. But then you've got the whole month when the World Cup's on to get him trained, to get him back to match sharpness. And they've got a couple of friendlies in there as well. And then to get him back, to get him into that team, and then see how he does from there. So we wait and see on that one. Gary says Sunderland or two. Oh, God. Just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it, for that lot, But we only hope and pray that Birmingham come back and win 3-2, but it doesn't look very likely, that, does it? Wayne says, Tony, spot on, bud. That's what I would have went for. Maxi's got to fight for his position at the minute. Great to see. Yeah, absolutely, Wayne. I mean, I mean, he has to fight for his place, no matter what. I mean, he can't just walk straight into the team and expect to be welcomed with open arms. He's got to fight for that place. He wants to be in that team. He's got to make a fight for it. And unfortunately, he's just going to have to sit on the bench for now. But I think it won't do him any harm tomorrow to be on the bench. Bring him on, give him a half an hour maybe tomorrow night, and then see what he does. But yeah, you've got the whole month then over with the World Cup, like I said, to get him sorted out, get him back to full fitness, and then we take it from there, And I mean, the other guy in the picture, Isak, he's apparently going to be all right by December, and that'll be great news because I think he could make a huge difference when he's back as well, Isak, in that push up the table, because this guy has got quality, and we've already seen it at Liverpool. We've seen his penalty as well against against Bournemouth, which was absolutely brilliant. And this guy is quality, and he has got quality. So I think he could help make a push up the league as well. So we look forward to getting him back. But guys, put that in your comments. Where do you think Isak fits in? Does he replace? How do you get Isak in the team? Where do you play him? That's the $1 million question, because can't drop Wilson because Wilson's played so well, and he's been brilliant for us since Isak's been out. Can't put Isak on the right because Mickey's on fire there. The only place you could really play him is in place of ESM on the left. But then that means if you're on the left, you could be leaving this man out, because if this man plays well on the left, do you change him as well? So lots of options, but it's absolutely fantastic to see that we've got these options as well, that we've got all these players now coming in. And this is why Eddie gets paid mega bucks, and he's got to have them decisions to make. I'm glad as fans we don't have them decisions to make, but Eddie's got them decisions, and there must be hard decisions when you've got to leave somebody out the team, because you've got to think, well, how do I do this? So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Go to the comments. Mighty Max says, Tony, Premier League footy on from 12:30 tomorrow till 9:45. It's what weekends are for. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the game at 12:30 tomorrow, and then you've got there's one at 7:45 at night. I'm just trying to see who that is now. I can't remember who that is playing at 7:45, but that's Wolves Arsenal. So if I go through sort of some predictions, I think tomorrow, Man City Brentford 12:30 kick-off. You've got to say Brentford are poor away from home, Man City great at home. So you've got to say, I would say 3-0 Man City on that one. Bournemouth and Everton, I'll say 2-1 Bournemouth. Liverpool, Southampton now. Southampton's got a new manager, so a new manager bounce could come in. But I still fancy Liverpool for that one, so I'm going to say 3-1 Liverpool. Forest and Palace. Forest playing well at home. Beat Spurs the other night 2-0 with a different team. I'm going to say 2-0 Forest. Spurs versus Leeds. I can see Spurs winning that one 2-0. West Ham Leicester. Difficult game for West Ham because Leicester are on the up. Playing well. So I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester. Newcastle Chelsea, obviously I've said 2-0 for us to win. And Wolves Arsenal, 3-0 Arsenal. That's my quick predictions for tomorrow. That's what I think anyway. Alan says, can't be leaving J7 out. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. How do you bring him in? The only way you can bring him in is if we get an injury or a suspension to somebody, and then he stakes his claim and stays in the team. That's the only way. So it's a tough one. Or do you bring out Sean Longstaff and put Joe Linton in the middle and midfield, and then put Isak on the left? it's all different conundrums. It all depends on how players' fitnesses are and things like that, and suspensions, and wait and see. It's a tough one. Like Tony, we'll have to wait and see what Eddie does. Yeah, absolutely. Alan says, I think he's so important because he's bossing the midfield. Yeah, I mean, what a player he's been since he's been moved from a striker who couldn't hit a barn door to a midfielder who's one of the best in the Premier League, you know. And I just think, we've had this gem on our hands. But I always said when he come into the club, he was never a striker. He was always playing in the midfield, in the left side of midfield. If you're watching for Hoffenheim, he was on the left side of midfield. So it just sort of like, I don't know, it was just one of those weird ones, like as to why we were played up front. I think it was down to Mike Ashley probably thinking, oh, well, see if I can play him as a forward. And then, and if he comes in and bangs in 20 or 30 goals, I might double me money and sell him the next season. That's probably what he thought. But it was never going to work like that, you know. And so, I mean, I'm just trying to find. I mean, I'll bring this up on screen. And this is Joe Linton when he played for Hoffenheim. And so, as you can see there on screen, I mean, this here, that's his heat map. He's more in midfield than he is really up front. He does his tracking back. And when he was at Hoffenheim, he played 28 games. That was in the season before he came to us. Scoring 7 goals and 5 assists. He won a penalty, and his accurate crossing was 71% when he played for Hoffenheim. So that shows you how good he was at crossing the ball. You know, so his crosses were pretty good. And like I say, he got 5 assists as well as the 7 goals. So that's not a bad return. And that was in 18-19 before he came to us. When he played for them in 15-16, he only played 1 game against Schalke. So you're going back quite a long way there. But, you know, when he came to us in the Premier League, we'll go to his first season, 1920. I mean, 38 games, 2 goals and 2 assists. That's what he got in that season. But if you look, he played more there on the left. He was in the box a little bit, but as he was supposed to be a striker, but now he was playing there. So you know, again, it's another one of them. It's all down to the management, and well, he just wasn't managed very well, was he? You know, and that's the other season under Mr. Bruce. He got 4 goals in 31 games and 2 assists. But yeah, he wasn't really played properly under Steve Bruce. But then we all know what Steve Bruce was like with his style of play and how he done things. But yeah, I just think now he's been turned into this midfield enforcer, and Eddie Howe's getting a massive tune out of Joe Linton. He's getting a massive tune out of Miggy Almiron. He's getting a massive tune out of Joe Linton, like I said. He's getting a tune out of Sean Longstaff now, you know. And this is just brilliant, you know, absolutely brilliant. And this is what we want to see. And we want to see these players coming through and playing well. We want to see Longstaff back to the best he was under Rafa. Because under Rafa, he was a great player under Rafa. But he lost his way. He lost his way under Bruce, unfortunately, like a lot of players did. So it's an interesting one. Alan says, I think he's too important to Boston midfield. Yeah. Longstaff to drop for ESM, I reckon. Yeah, but I don't think he's going to drop Longstaff tomorrow. I don't think so. And says, evening, Tony, evening, Alan. I hope you're well, mate. And he says, have Newcastle put a bid in for 50 million? I don't know. I've not seen that one, Alan. But if they have, again, that's a statement of intent. If we have, love to see it, but I'm not so sure at the moment. But I think number one target in January, I think, is going to be James Maddison, if I'm honest. And then maybe look to get somebody else in. I mean, if if the January window went and we got Maddison, Mudryk and Diaby in, that'd be one hell of a transfer window, because our attacking up front would just be boom, So if we got them three in, that would be a massive statement up front. But to be honest with you, I'd be happy even if we just got Maddison in, because that's the type of player that can help push you further up that table. And him and Bruno in that midfield would be absolutely fantastic. But not only that, Maddison can play as a right winger as well. So you would have him as either a centre mid or a right winger. And I think the guy, I know the guy does annoy people, and I mean he annoyed me when he got that penalty against us, for Leicester. But when I look at James Maddison and you watch his touching and his creativity, it's a joy to watch, and you just think, do you know what? I would love to see him in a black and white shirt, because I think he'd be absolutely fantastic. I mean, this season, 12 games, 6 goals, 4 assists already. And if he's doing that in a Leicester team that is struggling, just imagine what he could do in this Newcastle team. It's frightening to think. And not only that, think how far we could go with Maddison as well. So, the sky's the limit for him. So I'm hoping that we get him in the winter window, January. Mighty Max says, Isak to come back, this is going to be amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I have seen a thing apparently, but how true it is, I take it with a pinch of salt. I don't say it's going to happen. But supposedly Piff have already put in, well, the ownership, sorry, Newcastle, but can say Piff because they're the majority shareholder. They've inquired about Victor Osimhen from Napoli and are ready to test him with an £88 million bid in January. Now, how true that is, I do not know. That may just be some media bull. Could be media verbal diarrhea. We don't know. If it was, did that be sell him? I don't think so. But Victor Osimhen, that would be a hell of a signing, but I can't see that happening somehow. So, excuse me. So, yeah, we'll have to watch that one. But that could just be silly paper talk that nobody believes. Oh, that's tasty, 80 odd million. Yeah. I mean, he's worth it all day. He's a hell of a player. But again, will we get him? I don't think so. Right, guys. Come to the end of the show now. So, like I say, if you like what you see, then please hit those like buttons. It really does help the channel grow and send up the search settings. Also, please consider subscribing. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also hit the bell notification. That'll notify you every time I put a pre-recorded video on or I go live. So thank you for that. I've got more comments here. If we got Maddison and Mudryk in January, who would you drop? Oh, Alan, that's a hard one. I mean, well, let's just say if we got Mudryk in January, ESM would have to be on top of his game, because he would know that that's a serious player there in his position. So that would make ESM think, oh, I need to play well here, because if I drop off, this guy's going to get in and I ain't going to get a chance to get back in the team. So, yeah. So ESM would know, sorry, excuse me, that he's got a battle on his hand. Wayne says, great player, Maddison. He's on my list and hope for Diaby. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll take Diaby as well. another one we just have to wait and see. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes through the door in January. But I hope Madison is definitely through the door. Mighty Mag says, thanks, Tony. Great show. Thank you for coming on, Mighty Mag. Thank you very much, mate. And Alan says 3 points. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. 3 points tomorrow. Finish it off. Let's have 30 points tomorrow night, sitting in third place, going at the World Cup break, and thinking, right, okay, we've got a month without this now. Eddie's then got a month to sort out the players that are injured, get them back. Obviously, Kraft won't be back. We'll get the players back who are there. And then let's see where we go from there. But yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. And like I say, if somebody had come to me at the start of the season and said, look, Tony, we're going to finish third place with 30 points, with a plus goal difference at the World Cup, I would have laughed at them, because I would have said, I doubt we'll get 30 points by the World Cup break. Because I was trying to be more realistic. I would have looked at it and thought, if we get a few wins, that's progress. But we got more than that. We've only lost one game. So let's see if we can keep that up tomorrow by just staying that single loss, which I think we can. I think we can beat Chelsea tomorrow. And they won't, like I say, they will not enjoy coming to us tomorrow. And but yeah, and I'm sure this guy has got the team well drilled after last Sunday's game against Southampton, and I'm sure he's telling them, he's pointing them in the right direction, and he's getting them sorted out. And tomorrow, I think we'll see a totally different team to what we saw last Sunday, and a different performance. And I think it'll be a much, much improved, because this guy doesn't like a bad performance to be covered into another bad performance. He'll expect us tomorrow to be ahead of the game and to be winning that, and to be winning it well by playing attractive football. So this guy has been an absolute breath of fresh air. He's been here for 12 months now. We've gone from bottom of the Premier League with no wins in 14 games to finishing 11th last season, to then this season we're sitting third top, 27 points, plus 17 goal difference. Got tomorrow to come, and the future's bright. The future's Eddie Howe, that's for sure, tomorrow night. So let's look forward to tomorrow. And but yeah, absolutely fantastic. Can't wait for the match tomorrow. That's the thing now. We can't wait for the matches now. That is the thing. And like I say, thank you to everybody who's came on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this. That hour's flown through quickly. Mighty Mag says, any shows tomorrow? Yes, there is, Mighty Mag. So tomorrow, guys, on It's All Black and White TV, please join me at 4 p.m. I will be doing the warm-up show against the Newcastle Chelsea warm-up show tomorrow at 4 p.m, guys, where we will have both team lineups on show, so we can have a look at the teams, see what we think, dissect the teams, and then see how we'll do. So we'll have that warm-up show. That'll be from 4 till 5, because obviously the match kicks off at half 5. And then I'm looking at 8 p.m. tomorrow night to do a match reaction, so people can come on, have their say about the game, how well we've done, or if we haven't done so well, their thoughts on the game. If you don't want to come on live, come on in the chat, give us your thoughts in the chat. You know, it's absolutely brilliant. But that's the scheduling for tomorrow. 4 p.m. the warm-up show to the Chelsea game, and 8 p.m. roughly around 8 p.m. But I'll definitely confirm that tomorrow, and we shall have a match reaction show, which hopefully is on the back of the 3 points and a fantastic win against Chelsea. So yeah, and absolutely brilliant. But yeah, if you like what you see, then please really do hit them like buttons, as it does help the channel go up the search settings, and people find my channel a lot easier as well. And also, if you haven't yet, then click the subscribe button. That's free to do so. Really helps the channel grow. Everyone who's subscribed so far is thank you very much, and hopefully people continue to do so. And also hit the bell notification. that allows you to know when I've put a pre-recorded video on, like I did the other night with the celebration of Eddie Howe, and also when I become live as well. So like I say, thank you to everybody in the chat. It's been an absolute pleasure and a great night with everybody. Final one there. Gary says, Arsenal Man City will have hit a bad patch somewhere along the lane, Tony. Yes, they will. All teams hit a bad patch. I mean, we'll probably hit one as well. But, you know, it depends. If we do hit a bad patch, I just hope fans don't have a meltdown. I just hope we stay level-headed and think, do you know what? Okay, we've had one. Might be one where we lose a couple of games in a row. It just depends how you bounce back from that. But the way we're doing it at the moment, we're in a purple patch at the moment. We're playing very well. We're playing very great, very, very good football. And I think a lot of teams are surprised by us this season. So, yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you, Gary. And I think Arsenal will hit a sticky patch at some point. And Alan says, see you at 4 p.m. Tony, take care. Yeah, thank you so much, Alan. So, yeah, so like I say, I'm back tomorrow at 4 p.m. warm-up show, and then 8 p.m. for the match reaction. So, guys, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Thank you for your company tonight and all your positive comments in there. And please share my channel around, and let if anybody who hasn't been on to watch it, then get them to come on and watch it and hit that subscribe button, because like I say, that really does help my channel grow as well. So thank you very much to everybody tonight. And on this Friday evening, I'll probably going across onto PD Proudlocks football show. So if you're going on there, you'll probably see me on there as well. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, I got my show on a lot later than an hour and a half later than I was going to. But that was due to unforeseen circumstances. I had a few things to do. By the time I got back, so I had to have me dinner and then. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on tonight, guys. And until then, stay safe. And I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the warm-up. Bye-bye for now.